Compliment of the season, everyone. Merry Christmas. Tomorrow is Christmas for real. This year is practically gone. I hope everyone is doing well. I just wanted to say something about the current pandemic of divorces going on in Nigeria. I've seen a lot of talks on social media about the divorces going on in Nigeria, and a lot of Nigerians are worried, asking what's going on. And I haven't seen this one particularly, but I know that somebody is probably out there saying it, blaming it on feminism, which would be a wrong notion. I think that a lot of Nigerians don't, think critically, so they assign blame to things that shouldn't be blamed at all. I think that more divorces would actually happen, and it would be the right cause of life. To put it in another way, more divorces are going to happen in order to rearrange the cause of events in Nigeria leading to a better Nigeria. Just like the wave of political awakening going on. And the reason I say more divorces would happen, for things to, get on the right course in Nigeria, is because just like Nigeria's political system is highly, deeply, and widely corrupt, so is the marriage institution in Nigeria. The marriage institution in Nigeria is highly, widely, and deeply corrupt. You may not have heard of the notion that the marriage institution could be corrupt, but it is in Nigeria, because, just look up the the definition of corruption again. I can't even look up. All my phones are occupied right now, so I can't even toggle over. I don't know. Let me try to toggle over here real quick and see. Let's learn it together. Corruption. Okay. Definition of corruption is dishonest or fraudulent conduct by those in power, typically involving bribery. And then the second definition is the process by which something, typically a word or expression, is changed from its original use or meaning to one that is regarded as erroneous or debased. That's the definition that I want right there. Corruption is the process by which something, typically a word, let's just say in this case marriage, a process by which marriage is changed from its original use. Okay, so that's the definition that we want. And that's why I say that the marriage institution in Nigeria is highly, deeply, and widely corrupt. And that's why you will see much more divorces happening. And much more divorces happening will be for good. Why? Because when something is built on a wrong or erroneous foundation, it's going to come crashing down. Recently we've also seen so many structures crashing down because the engineers or the people that constructed the buildings took shortcuts. They took money out of the budget and used compromised materials to build. So what happens? The buildings come crashing down, and many times destroying lives with it. So the same way, marriage institution in Nigeria is very, very corrupt because marriage is misused in Nigeria, because culture, also the corrupt culture, has made Nigerians, have trained the minds of people in Nigeria to go after marriage at all costs and by any means necessary. I don't have to tell you stories. You Nigerians already know it. So many Nigerians go into marriage with false pretenses, okay? Just so that they would be called wives or husbands. So many Nigerians lie just to get married. Why? Because the culture, if I can quantify culture in binary or numbers, I would say that 95% of Nigeria culture is corrupt, is bad, is evil. And this culture, why? Because, okay, first off, a culture that values one gender of humans as being more important, or being the humans over the other, can only produce corruption and evil, patriarchy, and a culture. I lost my train of thoughts right there. And a culture that what's the right word now? That trades in frivolities. A culture that puts the cart before the horse, that only go after perishable things, outward things, only respect things that are not of value will lead to decadence. So Nigeria marriage institution is built on outward appearances, frivolities. For example, the culture respects only people that are married. So it forces the young people to, want to get married. It doesn't allow them to think of themselves, what they are supposed to be doing, actually, what their life purpose is. Everybody is not supposed to get married, but this culture in Nigeria has forced everybody to forget their original thought and only aspire for marriage. So it has made the country lopsided in that we have, a whole population of people that only go after. This touches so many levels. It goes across economics, social, political, because this culture of striving to appease appearances that makes everybody rush to get married, to show off, oh, I am a husband, I am a wife, while forgetting if they are actually purposed to be a wife or husband. They forget all about that and rush to get married. And this culture gets everybody rushing for this marriage, rushing to show off beautiful lifestyle, family lifestyle, and makes them forget what they are actually supposed to be doing in terms of contributing to the synchronicity of how things are supposed to function in Nigeria. Because, for example, bear with me, it might look like I'm going all over the place, but there has to be synchronicity for the world to function right, for a country to function right, for a family to function right. But if everybody, and that synchronicity I'm talking about is something like division of labor. My people, the Igbo people, they will say things like ekere olo eke, meaning the work is divided. Everybody has their role in a situation to play for things to go right, So if everybody marry and have children, who is going to have the energy to help the other? Nobody, because everybody is encumbered by their own family problems. So if everybody becomes a trader, who is going to be the farmer, the producer? Do you see what I'm saying? So when this culture, decadent culture, gets everybody, respecting only people that are married, and then everybody now wants the respect, and what do? They go for marriage by all means necessary at any cost. They marry people that they have nothing in common with. They marry people that are strangers to them. Some people even marry their enemies. That is bad foundation right there. So what happens to a structure that has bad foundation? That structure is going to come crumbling. And that's what's going on in Nigeria today. In the marriage institution, in the political institution. And let me tell you, if you resist, you are going to be, what is it called again? Collateral damage. You will be part of the collateral damage. You cannot resist this restructuring of the decadent culture that has eaten Nigeria deep, at home, in families with bad foundations, in politics with bad foundation. Those that are trying to resist the restructuring, the repairs, they're going to be collateral damage. You cannot stop it. You cannot, because Nigeria is suffering today because of the bad foundation in so many facets of the societal functionality or dysfunctionality. Everything in Nigeria is dysfunctional. So for it to function right, the structures have to come down. Even, for example, in a house too, if a house is in disrepair, what do you do to fix it? You have to undo. You have to bring down some drywall, some blocks, remove some paintings and everything in order to rebuild it. And because of that, a lot of marriages are going to end as Nigerians are gradually, learning that marriage is a thing of choice. You don't need to be married. You don't even, you don't have to be married. Marriage is great, okay? But you have to be purposed for it. Marriage is not something everybody cannot be married. Because if everybody married, then people that are purposed for something else, they will be useless in marriage. Just think of it for those of us that are Christians. Jesus Christ did not get married. If Jesus Christ were to, become in Nigeria today, Nigerians will force him to get married, thereby not fulfilling his purpose to die for the sin of the world. If Jesus Christ had married, he was of marriageable age before he was crucified. If he had married, he would not have sacrificed himself for us. So who are those in Nigeria today that their purpose is to do something else, to innovate, to teach, to, do a lot of things to contribute to the growth of that country? And I'm not saying this to imply that there are people who cannot be married as well as, do other things. There are people, but it has to be in your purpose. Okay, so that's what I just want to say. Stop crying over divorces. Divorce is not a crime. Divorce is not a sin either. Yes, God hates divorce, but the Bible did not say you cannot divorce. If you are going in the wrong direction, to make things better, you have to turn around and go in the right direction. If you are in a bad marriage that you should not be in, you are miserable, you cannot